Welcome back, class. Today we are looking at transformation of functions, in particular, horizontal translation. Let's review f of x equals a times x minus h plus k. Remember, a is your scale factor. H will move the graph either right or left. And remember to think of a hypocrite, because h will do the opposite of what you see. K will move the graph either up or down, and you're going to keep the value of k. Now let's get started. Problem number 1. Given the parent function f of x equals x below, sketch the graph of f of x plus 4. Notice how in this problem the plus 4 is inside of the parentheses. And because it's inside of the parentheses, the 4 is going to be our h value. And remember what I told you about h? H is a hypocrite, so you do the opposite of what you see. Instead of going 4 units to the right, you're going to be going 4 units to the left. So to graph the transformation, go ahead and pick 3 points from the line and move those points 4 units to the left. And you can pick any points you want. I'll go with -5, -5. I'll also go with 0, 0, and 5, 5. So let's go ahead and move them. Let's start off with -5, -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to 0, 0. Let's move 0, 0, 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally 5, 5. Move that 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you have your points, go ahead and draw your line. And this is f of x plus 4. Now let's move on to problem number 2. Given the parent function f of x equals x squared below, sketch the graph of f of x minus 3. We have a quadratic function because the graph is a parabola. It's a U-shaped graph. So we want to sketch the graph of f of x minus 3. We have the minus 3 that's inside of the parentheses. That's our h value. And remember, with h, we're going to do the opposite of what we see. Instead of going 3 units to the left, we're going to go 3 units to the right. Let's pick 3 points on the graph. Let's go with 0, 0, -2, 4, and 2, 4. And just a reminder, you can pick any 3 points you want. Now let's move the points. Let's start off with 2, 4. So 1, 2, 3. Now let's go to 0, 0. Move that 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. And let's move -2, 4, 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. Once you have those points, draw your curve. So this is f of x minus 3. Now let's move on to problem number 3. Given the parent function f of x equals the square root of x below, sketch the graph of f of x plus 3. This is a half curve, so I know that this is a square root function. We want to sketch the graph f of x plus 3. That plus 3 is inside of the parentheses, and once again, that's our h value, and so we're going to do the opposite because it's a hypocrite. So instead of going 3 units to the right, we're going to move the graph 3 units to the left. Now let's pick 3 points from our curve and move those 3 points. I'll go with 0, 0, 4, 2, 9, 3. Let's go ahead and move 0, 0 first, and let's go 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now let's move 4, 2, 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. Followed by 9, 3. Let's move that 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. Once you have your points, draw the curve. Let's label the graph f of x plus 3. Great job! So now let's look at problem number 4. Given the parent function f of x equals x to the third below, sketch the graph of f of x minus 5. This looks like a snake, so I know it's a cubic function. We want to graph f of x minus 5. The minus 5 is inside of the parentheses. That's our h value. So instead of going 5 to the left, we are going to graph 5 to the right. So let's go ahead and pick our 3 points. Let's go with 0, 0. Let's also go with 1, 1 and negative 1, comma, negative 1. Let's move negative 1, comma, negative 1 first. Move that 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let's move 0, 0, 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally 1, 1, move that 5 units to the right. Draw the graph. Label the graph f of x minus 5. Great job, class. You're getting the hang of this. Let's move on to problem number 5. Given the parent function f of x equals the absolute value of x, sketch the graph of f of x plus 6. So the graph looks like a V. I know that it's going to be an absolute value function. We want to graph f of x plus 6. The plus 6 is inside of the parentheses. That's your h value. And so that tells us to move the graph 6 units to the left. Let's pick our 3 points. I'll go with negative 5, comma 5, 0, 0, 5, 5. So let's start moving them. Let's move negative 5, 5 first. Let's go 6 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's move 0, 0, 6 units to the left. And finally, 5, 5, 6 units to the left. Draw the graph. Label it f of x plus 6. Okay, let's graph one more, and then we'll move on to some more challenging questions. Problem number 6. Given the parent function f of x equals the cube root of x, sketch the graph of f of x minus 5. Because the graph looks like an S, I know that this is a cube root function. So now let's graph f of x minus 5. The minus 5 is inside of the parentheses. That tells me that we need to move the graph 5 units to the right. And the minus 5 is our h. Okay, class, let's pick 3 points from the graph and move those 3 points 5 units to the right. So I'll go with 0, 0, 1, 1, and negative 1, negative 1. Let's move 1, comma 1 first. So 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 0, 0, 5 units to the right. Followed by negative 1, 5 units to the right. Draw the graph. So this concludes our video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.